Hello everybody, and welcome to the MIT League of Legends Club Spring Tournament. We are here to bring you the game from Week 3, Game number 2. It is Royal Rat Authority on the blue side and CLAM Ambassadors on the red side. We're about ready to get into Champ Select, and we are here to bring you an exciting Game 1. It's our second game of the day. Second series of the day, rather.
Yeah, we see the Malphite getting banned out right away. Now, this is not a champion that we have seen Marl Chartel play very often, unlike certain champions which shall not be named. Do you think this is more of a target ban, Horkley? Or do you think that this is just a ban because Malphite is very, very strong in the top lane at the present time?
I think it's more of a power ban. I think Malphite is especially good against a lot of the mainly AD comps that we've seen popping up a lot, with marksman kind of in every lane, also the jungle. So we'll see if they're trying to pick a comp that is drafted around that, or if they just don't like Malphite.
Yeah, legit.
Hello, MIT LOL Club 2 in the Twitch chat. By which I mean, hi, Adam. A Soraka ban now coming out second for Royal Rat Authority, and on the other side we do see Darius getting banned away.
Alright, so Royal Rat Authority does seem to just be going for the power bans here. Malphite and Soraka not seriously known to be champions that the CLAM Ambassadors are going to play. Now we do see the Poppy and Darius bans coming out, so that is 2 top lane bans for
a lot of focus on the top lane so far in the Champ Select. So just to give you a little, bring you up to speed on the state of the tournament so far, Royal Rat Authority thus far have a 2-0 record. They've won both of their series 2-0, and CLAM Ambassadors coming in with a 1-1 record, winning a 2-1 series over Ready to Feed in the first week, and then losing a 2-0 series against RRA in our last round of games a week ago.
Alright, and we see the Sivir ban coming in as the last one. Now this looks to be more of a target ban, as we've seen CLAM Ambassadors be extremely successful with Sivir-based team compositions. And the Sivir does actually fit very well the kind of playstyle that CLAM Ambassadors like to do. They like to run you down and just cut through you, basically, as a team. So it's a good ban coming in.
Absolutely. And last ban coming in is Echo, which I guess is another top lane ban. We've seen, for those of you who've been watching the LCS recently, a lot of tank Echo, or I guess bruisery Echo, popping up with the first 2 items, Iceborne Gauntlet, Sunfire Cape.
Yep.
Good wave clear.
Yeah, I've never seen that build on any other champion before, Ben.
Never.
Never. Wow, that's
not
very special.
3 of the other champions that also got banned.
Yep. But Echo is crushing the top lane right now. I think latest stats are that he has something like a 57% win rate in top lane bruiser.
It's very high.
Yeah, that's pretty fun.
Yeah. I do see a first pick Jhin coming out. Pretty bold pick. It's probably going to be in the bot lane as a blind pick Jhin mid. I can tell you from experience, often works out badly.
I mean, they can flex that, is the thing. Ambassadors aren't going to know which one it is, so that's not a terrible first pick. We're going to see if they actually lock in at Karma. I really, really like seeing Karma. Karma mid, Karma support, it's all good.
Karma mid, making a comeback recently. We're all excited.
Ooh.
And looks like might be a Katarina pickup. No, it's the Singed!
There we go! Marl Chartel!
Marl Chartel, the signature pick in that top lane as that gets left open, is going to be a Gragas picked up as well, most likely going into the jungle with Biohulor.
Alright, see, I was wondering if that was going to be relevant. I wasn't going to mention it. And then they first picked it.
The subtle champion who you're not going to name.
Yep.
You do have to think, though, that Royal Rat Authority is going to be ready for this. If they've done their scouting, they see that Marl Chartel has played a lot of games on this champion. So you have to think they've got something that can deal with it.
Yep. But Royal Rat Authority not actually showing too much of their hand. That Karma being picked up as another possible flex pick, Sejuani going into the jungle. CLAM Ambassadors actually has very little actual concrete drafting information to work on at this stage in the game. So those are some pretty nice flex picks coming in from Royal Rat Authority.
Absolutely. I'm guessing that is going to be a support Karma for potential 5. We'll have to see how the rest of this draft plays out. And Expatriate locks in the Blitzcrank pretty quickly in this round, and that is going to be a Blitzcrank Lucian in the bottom lane. Could be quite strong.
Now, we do see the Kayle getting locked in by Royal Rat Authority, and Kayle is actually a pretty darn good pick against that Singed. She is very good at bullying him early throughout laning phase. Singed can't really do anything to Kayle until he picks up a few items. And even then, it's not the greatest matches for him. Corvus also, we've seen him a hard carry on top lane many times before. So
Kale
if that
champion
Kale
that.
really gets going in the top side,
I want to see the Yorick mid lane. I think that could be
God.
It's not going to happen, but it
Yeah,
would be great.
I-
And to round out the
Great.
comp, it is going to be a Gangplank. I think most likely it is going to be Kale in the top lane to deal with that Singed. And
I
then
think so, yeah.
The Gangplank in the mid lane is going to be matched up against a Katarina as Expatriate locks in that last pick.
Yep, Katarina is going to be open. We've seen this banned away from Clambassadors before. Let's see how successful they can be with two of the champions that are actually pretty frequently banned against them. They've let them get both the Singed and that Katarina. Let's see what they can do with this stuff. Now, on the other side, it is going to be the Jhin Karma in the bot lane, as you called. Now that is a very, very aggressive bot lane with the Karma taking the Ignite as well. And it's one thing I really like about this lane matchup is that when Karma goes in to try to land her W tether, Jhin can actually follow up from a very, very long range with that Jhin W, snaring them for the duration of that Karma tether for effectively twice the CC. That's going to be a very, very effective combination
Absolutely,
in that bottom side.
We've seen Jhin we've seen be very successful in those bot lane matchups that can bring those long duration CCs. So, for example, Jhin Morgana can be a
such a good
ridiculous lane to deal with.
Such a good lane.
Because if one of the binds lands, that gives you a guaranteed land on the second bind. They're both pretty long duration, and Jhin can just pour down the damage from a long way away the whole time.
Yeah, and Karma is no slouch in the damage department as well.
Yeah, I was going to mention, it looks like they did switch it at the last moment. As it is going to be an Ignite, or an Exhaust on the Gangplank in the mid lane. And I was going to say, if you're going up against a Katarina with 0 Ignites or 0 exhausts would be a bold choice.
Yeah, I actually really like this choice of bringing the exhaust because if you actually look at the team comp of Royal Rat Authority, the only hard CC they have to stop that Death Lotus is going to be the Sejuani ultimate, which they probably want to use on something that's not only stopping the Katarina ultimate, right? So very, very smart to have someone draft that Ignite Summoner. Sorry, wow. Did the
now
same thing.
you're doing
Yep, it's contagious. It's contagious.
Oh, no.
It's a very smart choice to have someone draft that Exhaust Summoner spell just to deal with that Katarina. Potential 5 wanting to go a little more aggressive in that bottom lane with the Ignite Karma. Totally good, but nice that they have Exhaust on that team. Very smart.
Absolutely. Yeah, so that is going to be quite an aggressive bot lane. On the other side, we do see Vim on the Lucian and H-Roll picking up Blitzcrank. So they're also going to be trying to make something happen pretty early here. Blitz really needs to get a lane advantage for his partner by landing those hooks early on. And H-Roll also taking the Ignite, going to try and get those kills within the first couple minutes.
Yeah.
Before Karma starts getting those levels.
Yeah.
For the larger shields, for the extra speed, so that those hooks get harder and harder to land as the game goes on.
Right. Now, here is one thing about Blitzcrank. Number one, he's really good against squishy supports. Karma not being the tankiest of champions. Number two, for anyone who's an aspiring Blitzcrank player out there, it's not only about landing the hook. Landing a hook is going to be really cool. It's going to get you probably at least a flash, maybe a kill, especially with that Ignite and the early power Lucian brings to the table. It's also very important to know how to use just the threat of the hook to zone people off of CS, to deny people aggressive positioning, and honestly, a really good Blitzcrank player can win lane without like actually firing a single rocket grab. The zone potential from Blitzcrank is completely ridiculous, and that doesn't fall off as the game progresses.
Absolutely.
So let's talk about these team compositions.
Yeah, I know Clambassadors are going to be getting quite tanky as the game goes on.
Oh, yeah.
So what I'm expecting out of BioPuvar is what we've seen built on a lot of these AP tanky junglers recently, which is to go Runic Echoes first, you get your extra move speed, you get your extra clear speed.
Damage, mana restore,
yeah, right now Runic Echoes is a bit stronger than Cinderhulk for wave clear. And I'm expecting that. Yeah, that seems one of the things that's likely to get tuned in the future patches, as you're seeing Runic Echoes on
everyone.
what are traditionally tank junglers. So even Zac might be tempted to take Runic Echoes over Cinderhulk, and I think that's perhaps
kind
a sign it's over to.
Yeah, I can definitely agree with that. But yeah, they are going to have a very tanky team comp that does scale very well into the late game. Blitzcrank picks someone off. I mean, we all know how that one ends. I know especially well how that one ends.
As a main of squishy supports.
As a main of squishy supports, not particularly fond of playing against that Blitzcrank in the bottom side. But yeah, that is a pretty cool team composition. That's just going to out-beef the enemy team. Not necessarily aim to run them down, though it definitely can do that with the Singed, with the Lucian, with the Katarina even, to get in their faces. But just very tanky, very well scaling overall. What about the other side?
Yeah, on the other side, so I actually kind of like what they've got for the for the defensive side of the composition, I guess. So they've got the Kale and Karma are both going to be pretty good for protecting against the immediate assassination potential.
Yeah. Yep.
If somebody's jumping into the back line to try and get on Jin, the Kale ulti, the Karma shields, and so forth.
Yeah, well, hopefully,
for protection.
The ideal situation, of course, for Royal Rat Authority is to not let Katarina get far enough ahead to have instant assassination potential, because that's not a very good place to be if you're playing against Katarina.
Absolutely.
We'll see, though.
Here. All right, and we are loaded into the game. We are on Summoner's Rift for the start of game number 1 here, as we get our scoreboard nice and organized.
Yep. Now, that's interesting.
that is some Grogistan spam for you.
Oh man! All right. So something I do want to point out is that Clambassadors, true to their I guess signature.
Oh, he sold the Dark Seal.
Oh, shame.
Disappointed.
But true to their signature playstyle, Clambassadors has very, very little disengage builds to their team composition other than that Gragas ultimate, which may or may not prove detrimental against the likes of the Sejuani ult, the Karma CC, the Jin CC coming in.
And we do see some early group from
the
both
5-man
teams.
stack here.
They did not have a ward in that bush.
No,
I don't think they saw them coming out, and they were just hoping to get the surprise factor. That's actually a decent Mantra Q landed. It's going to push Vim back.
But only that one ward thrown down so far, so Clambassadors doesn't have that much information to play off of at the present time. I don't think they're going to want this invade now that they know there are people in the bot side and they don't have any additional vision. Nope, just one defensive ward going to be going down, and that's going to be it.
Yeah.
And Royal Rat Authority doing the smart thing, keeping a few extra people bot side just in case, but I don't think anything's going to happen out of this one.
Yeah. We did see them throwing down a few more wards on top side. I think that was before they had vision of the rest of the team.
Marl
Sartell walking into a lot of damage from Corvus. I think that's going to force him to back before this lane gets here, and actually might have to miss some CS unless he's going to go into top lane at lower health.
I think he's just going to go.
I think looks like he's going for it. Interesting choice. We also see took the refillable potion in the top lane.
Interesting.
Along with Sapphire Crystal.
Interesting. It's going to be a pretty rough early lane for him. Singe does not do particularly well into that matchup by default.
No. The ability to get that ranged harass, as well as the armor and MR shred,
is going to be very, very brutal for Singe. Yep.
Yeah. So it looks like he did just pop a charge of that refillable potion. Is gonna
heal back
ahead
up
in this lane.
Yeah. But we do see a pretty quiet early game here. Neither of these mid laners are particularly good early on, so that's not surprising there.
Yeah, Gangplank and Katarina both very item dependent to get scale up into their damage. Potential 5, good zoning Q onto Vim. Gonna be chunking down that Lucian. Blitzcrank does not bring sustain.
Yeah, and we do expect that from Karma though, right?
Yeah, I think that's definitely what we expected, seeing the ignite early on.
The deeps.
Nice bouncing bomb, and Marl Chartel throws Corvus into turret range. Does not pick up turret aggro though. There's still one more minion left in turret range.
Scumbag minion.
Barely mistimed that.
Scumbag minion. Now it's interesting to note that Gangplank does not actually have the not fervor battle. Grasp the Undying. There we go. That's the one. That's so common on Gangplank because you get the full melee proc with the ranged parlay. I'm trying to figure out what he does have. Hasn't really been obvious so far. Keep you guys informed. But yeah,
we can have Fred check OPGG.
Yeah, sure.
We'll get the first couple minutes of this.
Go for it.
Switch off controls. All right. As we do see the bottom lane roaming actually early on here. Just getting some
vision down. And this is something really good to do in bottom lane. If you play support, please don't just go and leave your AD carry by themselves while you go ward. At least announce something, ping, maybe have your AD carry go with you. This accomplishes 2 things. Number 1, it makes sure you... dodging the Mantra Q there. Very, very nice.
Very nice. Atrial going in a little bit aggressively on potential 5.
Oh, not going to get the knock-up, though.
Yeah, Vim taking another big chunk of damage, actually getting quite close to dead, and I think he's going to have to back just above 100 health left now on Vim.
Mantra Q is going to kill him if that hits.
Yeah, he is playing with fire here a bit. I think H-Roll is going to have to protect him a lot. Gank coming in here in the mid lane from Lagophile, but is seen coming just in time. And get it back off. Flash, meanwhile, forcing the top lane as Marl Chartel's going to throw him back. Biopuvar gets some good damage down. Corvus taking a lot. That's the barrel from Gragas. First blood going over to Biopuvar. That's a well-executed gank there in the top lane.
Very, very nicely done in that top lane. That is going to relieve a lot of the pressure onto Marl Chartel. Very, very good gank. Waited till the flash was burned. Went in for the fling backwards. The Gragas Gragas CC for the follow-up. The only thing that could have gone better is maybe letting Marl Chartel get the first blood, but
I think they'll take that first blood on Biopuvar. TP actually coming into the top lane. Biopuvar's still there, so going to try and get some damage down. Marl Chartel is pretty low in this top lane. I think he's going to want to back and maybe get some items.
Yeah, that TP might have been a little premature from Corvus. I think what he probably wanted to do was wait for the wave to get closer to his turret. And in that situation, he would not lose a third of his health to these minions.
Meanwhile, we did see Lucian go back, Vim picking up the Cull on the first back, but nothing else along with that.
I mean, you can't really do anything other than that in that situation, though, you know? If you get forced out of lane so early, you're just not gonna have the gold to get any other, like, bigger and better purchase.
Yeah.
And the Cull is gonna help you early in lane.
Yeah, I think Longsword might also have been a helpful item there, but Cull is nice to have in lane.
It is nice to have. The sustain is really good.
I am worried about him getting forced out of lane again with this Karma going fairly aggressive, and the Cull is not going to help him too much with that. It gets you a tiny bit more sustain, but I think the Longsword might be better for these traits. We'll see how this plays out.
We'll see how it plays out. Like, we expect this from the Karma Jhin lane, though. That lane is really really powerful, really punishing.
And Marl Chartel going back into Biopuvar. Meanwhile, has come back for the return gank. Just misses the adhesive, though. But Biopuvar, between them, Expatriate's going to come in. And the Katarina Roam picks up the kill. That is big to get that kill onto Expatriate in the mid lane.
Yeah, Clambassador is showing off a pretty darn strong early game, getting that top lane rolling. Marl Chartel is not falling as far behind as he could, though he is down so much farm in that top side.
Yeah, I think he's being zoned off the farm very effectively, but Biopuvar is doing a good job camping the top lane. Speaking of Biopuvar, he's actually waiting in that top side river brush, waiting to come in onto Gangplank. Gonna get a lot of damage down from Expatriate. Noble Gangplank. We're just gonna go with Gangplank because they made their names way too similar. Biopuvar, meanwhile, is chasing this and not gonna go after it into the red side jungle, as we did see Karma roaming up to help out.
Yeah, that was a little bit of an unfortunate gank.
And Vin gets locked down. Jhin gonna try and follow up for some more damage.
I think they'll be okay there.
Yeah, his support's around.
Yeah. But that was a little bit of an unfortunate gank just because Gangplank did have level 6, and neither the jungler nor the mid laner actually did on the side of Clambassadors. Yeah. So there was a pretty big power discrepancy. That was a pretty safe situation. Ooh, as we see Potential 5
lands onto Potential 5. Vim gonna try and get some more damage. Meanwhile, the Jhin lockdown, the Ignite onto Potential 5. He's not gonna go down as a Summoner Heal comes through. Heal, meanwhile, also coming down. Tries to flash, can't get out of the Gangplank ulti. That's a kill going to the mid laner. H-Roll is also in a lot of trouble here. Is gonna get locked up by the Karma. Turret shots coming in, meanwhile, cannot trade. Marl Chartel yet again throwing Corvus back in, but is not gonna be able to get much of the turret shots. But he does not see Lagafile coming in. Sejuani gonna trade back and forth and pops the Ghost, and the ultimate is gonna be able to get out of there. I think there's a little laugh spam going on. But burns 2 cooldowns to get there, so I think we might see Lagafile coming in for a return gank soon.
Yeah. Action all across the map, though. Now, I did check it out a little bit, and the summoner Gangplank did have is that Thunder Lord's Decree, and that actually helped him secure a kill with the ultimate down in bottom lane. Not going to be the most helpful for laning phase, but that is going to contribute significantly to his damage coming into the late game. And a really, really nice double kill on him is going to help accelerate his power curve, which is already pretty accelerated by those parlay stacks he's getting. Looking to finish that Triforce in no time at all.
Absolutely, yeah. And we'd, as you mentioned, we'd see Gangplank picking up the double kill with the ultimate in the bot lane. So not getting that on the AD carry. But pretty nice to have your Gangplank get a double kill early
nothing
on.
wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that at all.
He does have the Phage and Sheen picked up already, so he's going to be quite strong in that mid lane.
Yep.
Meanwhile, we do see Katarina picked up the Dark Seal on the first pack and has got the Sork Shoes going already. Looking like might be going into... Actually, I'm not sure what armor item those are going to be building into, but 2 cloth armors picked up so far.
I mean, I would expect that to go into a Seekers just to help early against Gangplank. We see mid laners doing this a lot against AD threats, is just pick up that early Seekers, farm up the stacks, and get a little more safety and power in lane and before building into your core build.
I believe that only takes 1 cloth armor, though.
I thought it was 2. I could be wrong. Ooh, there's a whole
big run coming in. H-Roll flash. Blitzcrank hook gets the knockup. That's going to be a lot of trouble for Gangplank. Does go down to Expatriate with the burn damage and a huge, huge 4-man roam from Clambassadors.
Yeah, with a 4-man roam, you'd hope that he would go down. I mean, that is a lot of resources invested.
Caught Gangplank out of down. I also realized that I did not turn on my overlay, so when we get a break in the action, we'll get you some nice graphics. And I'm being informed that I am out of date. They did change the recipe to Seekers to 2 cloth armors.
Ah, Ben,
Thank you,
together.
Twitch chat. Thank you, Twitch chat.
Don't chase Singe, don't chase Singe, don't chase Singe.
Yep.
There we go.
And Corvus listens.
Sending messages into the future, courtesy of MIT Law Club casters.
And
All
just
right.
taking a look at these matchups, mostly fairly even. I believe the gold's going to be pretty even in that top lane.
It is gonna
with
be
the-
that Seekers,
with the
by
2
the way.
assists. Yeah, and yeah, Seeker's Arm Guard picked up. Not too surprising. Potential 5 on Karma roaming into the mid. At the same time, though, Biopuvar coming into the top lane. Going to try and get another kill onto Corvus.
Misses the
Kale
body
does
slam.
have Flash. Yeah, misses the body slam. I don't think Corvus is going to be in too much danger here, as Marl's Chartel can't quite get there. Both supports now in the mid lane. H-Roll coming in, going to try and get another hook maybe onto Gangplank. Does get the hook, does get the knockup. Expatriate,
lot
though,
of damage.
not close enough to follow up with damage. H-Roll's actually going to be in a little bit of trouble as the support's dueling. Expatriate does get exhausted in the mid lane. ADC duel in the bot lane, a lot of fights. The minion damage going to take Vim down quite low, and the Jhin ultimate finishes him off with the big shot there. Corvus finally using that flash to get out of range from Marl's Chartel, so not able to secure a kill in the top lane. Meanwhile, it is Jhin in the bot lane, picking up that 1 kill onto Vim.
Yeah, so a very chaotic series of events as fights break out all across the map, but we see Biopuvar coming back in the top lane.
They're looking to do a tower dive, maybe. Marl's Chartel with the BM smite kill from Biopuvar. As that blue smite picks it up.
Oh man, Biopuvar, man, you gotta let your top laner have those. I mean, a kill is a kill. Kill's a kill. You
I
can't-
don't think Marl's Chartel was in position to get it, but that was a nice little tower dive there. Marl's
Yeah.
Chartel knowing exactly how many tower shots he could take.
Yep, I mean, I think that Corvus is poisoned, but we'll let that one go.
Yeah, gotta secure.
Gotta secure. There we go. There's the jungle mentality. There's the support main.
Support mentality. There we go. A lot of action in the mid lane again as Biopuvar has roamed in here. Gonna back off as H-Roll starts going fairly low. And again, we see a lot of roaming happening all over the map. Both junglers and both supports showing up in the mid lane at the same time.
What's laning phase, guys?
We just don't know.
We just don't know. This is something that is really nice to do as a support, though. Like, if you can count on your AD carry to be safe in lane by himself, Lucian is very safe in lane.
Especially when Jin's not there.
Yeah, especially when Jin's not there. But you can and should absolutely go up mid to see if you can make any plays as the support. Especially if you're playing something like Blitzcrank, who excels at making those kinds of plays happen.
Roaming, making picks.
Yep.
It's his thing.
It's kind of what he does.
Yeah. You know, on the bot lane, there's a pretty big disparity in items right now. Is Lucian sitting on Cull and 2 longswords? We're going to come back to that as Marl's Chartel going to flip him in. Lygophile, again, though, in position in this top lane.
He's going to be safe under his turret, though.
Yeah, to dissuade him from getting any extra damage in. Marl's Chartel coming down. Biopuvar also coming in as Lygophile trying to kill that pink ward is going to back away in time. Yeah, looks like all the ultimates up as Lygophile is going to get away safely with that Arctic Assault.
Take a look at the goal totals, though. Yeah, we do...
pretty big disparity in that bot lane.
Oh, yeah.
With the farm advantage as well as the kill advantage coming in on Jhin.
That pretty much makes up the gold lead this entire game, actually, so far.
Yeah, absolutely. That is all of Royal Rat Authority's advantage at this moment. Nice Mantra Key for the damage.
And, yeah, Jin's not exactly a bad person to have all that gold on, either. He can be very punishing. If you go even in a duel with him, you're not actually going even because he can just run back to his turret and ult you in the face.
Jhin ultimate coming in is going to do a lot of damage to H-Roll. I think that is going to push them out of lane. That might actually...
Wow.
Oh, that's just mean.
That's pretty rude.
The Jhin W coming through to cancel that recall.
Yeah, but
I
they
think
are...
they're going to be able to wait for this wave and maybe just push down this turret from
Oh,
half health.
they should be able to. I don't think Biopuvar is going to really want this. They could probably dive him, honestly. He might come down to pick up some of the CS, though, or is he just going to go for the
Yeah,
Grom?
looks like he is going to try and hold this lane, so they're going to see if they can hold this Jhin and Karma off the turret.
Okay, so they're not going to go for it. Alright, that's probably the safer play overall, especially as we do see Expatriate roaming down as well.
Yeah, again, a lot of roaming happening in this game.
Oh, yeah.
Expatriate been all over the map, picking up that kill in top lane a few minutes ago.
Yep. I mean, and that's really what you need to do as Katarina. Your laning phase is pretty god-awful. Like, you're not going to win any lanes by virtue of being Katarina, that's for sure. So, Expatriate actually making some pretty good plays to get himself fed around the map. It's good. It's good. This is what you're supposed to do on Katarina.
And good Singed tower farming mechanics there.
Yeah,
Aspiring
not
Singed
bad at
players
all.
take note. Throws Corvus into tower.
He
Again,
is
though,
gonna take
one
a tower
minion
shot.
left does not take that first turret shot, and that's going to be a lot less damage than there might have been. Singed forcing him to run around in the poison trail is actually going to have him quite low, and the minions coming in to help here. Gonna need some help, and the Kale ulti could provide that. And the minion damage is not going to be quite enough to finish him off, I think, as Singed is not in position to get it.
Wow.
Could have popped the Ghost maybe and tried to go for that kill, but I don't know that he had the cooldowns that he needed to secure that.
Yeah.
And
Yes.
Marl Sartell is going to have a little bit of time to catch up and farm. He's been consistently about 20 CS behind.
Yeah.
20 to 30 CS.
See, that's not as big of a deal when the CS numbers are closer to 100. It was much bigger when the CS numbers are closer to 15.
Yeah, it's about 45 to 20.
Yeah. So this is not going to be so bad. I'm interested in seeing why he decided to pick up that Negatron cloak quite so early instead of completing his Rod of Aegis combined, because that is a very, very important thing to have early on. Vim taking the worst end of the trade down.
Yeah, Culling pop down. That Jin ultimate gonna get slowed down by the Karma, and that's gonna secure the kill. Potential 5.
But the collapse,
all 5 collapsing here in the bottom lane. Teleport coming in from the top. Jin gets popped up. The Ignite is on him. That should be able to finish him off. Karma gets shut down as well.
Oh no!
And suddenly Corvus teleports in and is not able to do anything. I don't know how he didn't go down. I think they were trying to give the kill. Perhaps over to Katarina, but in the end it is going to be Biopuvar on Gragas picking up that kill. That was a terrible, terrible engage there as they pick up Vim with the Jin ultimate and then lose 3 in exchange.
I mean, that started totally fine, but the response from Clambassadors was
so
good.
That was a beautiful set of roams coming down to close in those kills.
Corvus should absolutely have canceled that TP. There was nothing he could have contributed to that situation, especially without that intervention being up.
Yeah, I think it just came back up.
It just comes back up, yeah. But, oh man, that was such a good response from Clambassadors to make the most out of that play, make the most out of their AD carry dying in the bot lane, to pick up 3 kills, a turret, and this dragon.
Yeah, absolutely. And that is going to be the first turret of the game having gone down.
Yeah.
In that bot lane. Yeah, suddenly showing up with 5 in the bot lane.
That's been the story of this game.
Huge. Yeah.
Suddenly showing up with 5.
Yeah, and
I've seen that before.
First completed item starting to come in on the blue side. There's going to be the Infinity Edge for Jin in the bot lane and the Triforce for Gangplank in the mid.
Yes, good. Expatriate, spend that 3,000 gold. Steamroll everyone.
Yep.
You generally don't want to have this much gold banked up in laning phase. It really, really hinders your power. It's really impressive, actually, that Clambassadors was able to make those plays, being effectively several thousand gold behind because they just had that unspent gold.
Yeah, and that's going to be immediately finishing the Zonias and the Ether Wisp.
Whew, okay, that is...
It's a big power spike for Katarina, absolutely.
Now, they don't,
And Lagerfile getting pinged out in the top lane. Just going to kill that Pink Ward back off.
You don't usually finish Zonias that early when you're playing a mid laner in this situation, but on the other hand, there are 2 AD threats, there's only 1 magic damage threat, and Expatriate is not going to be tangling too closely with Corvus, probably for a little while.
Gonna go in, pops the ultimate as potential 5 comes up, but finds himself in a very bad spot. Gets the Kale ultimate, but is going to go down as soon as that wears off. Expatriate picking up the kill. Corvus trying to get that. Marl Sartell finding time for the mastery spam in between as the Gragas ultimate blast. Corvus and Lagerfile down. Great ultimate from Sejuani, saving their lives there and actually locking up Expatriate as well as he is forced to get out. H-Roll maybe going to try and land a hook onto somebody to get them into tower range here. Get hooks in! Corvus, that's going to be the kill! Picked up by Marl Sartell in the end. Great job by H-Roll as they're not respecting that hook enough.
Yeah. I mean, so this game has had... We've seen so much coordinated team plays in this game. The Gangplank ultimate, the multiple 2 and 3 people rotations from both teams. This is just such a fun game to watch. Action all over the map, teams responding appropriately. And despite all of that, it's a dead even game at 18 minutes.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh, Expatriate takes a good Gangplank barrel hit there. I think was trying to engage but couldn't get in.
They're probably going to get this tower.
Yeah, and that is going to be that tower going down. Jin also pushing a tower in the bottom lane. H-Roll landing the hook but is just a little bit late. Expatriate not quite coordinating with him there as they...
Just farming on the way out.
Yeah, puts down the Ignite onto Gangplank, but no follow-up damage for him. A little unfortunate there with the support burning that cooldown.
Yeah, it's alright. It'll be back up.
Yeah, I think Expatriate was worried about getting locked down by the Sejuani again.
No, absolutely. But yeah, really, really good ult coming in from Lagerfile to save the back end of that fight, by the way. I mean, we talked about this already. Really good response overall. The Gangplank ult, the Sejuani ult, to be able to turn a kill in that very, very tense situation. Oops, that's not what I meant to do.
Yeah, it was, do you see Royal Rat Authority clearing out a little bit of the vision in their own jungle? Actually gonna...
Yeah?
I believe we do have a moment, so I'm gonna...
Sure. Turn the overlays on.
Badoop.
There we go. There we go.
Fancy. We are a fancy operation here at the MIT
Yes, we
League of
are.
Legends Club.
Yes, we are. And it's all thanks to you, Ben.
Bring in the class.
Bring in the class, as always. Well, you bring the class, I bring the dank memes. It's all good.
It's a good combination.
Gonna dodge that hook.
Just barely missing a hook.
Oh no, he misses his Q on the barrel. Oh, that's gonna cost him probably close to 100 gold, actually. Oh, that's pretty sad. It's so unfortunate.
I really like Clambassador's vision line here as well. You can see a bunch of wards pushed into that bottom side jungle, so they can see all of these ganks coming.
But by the way, guys, when you want to... Oh my god,
the Gangplank is going to go down so quickly with another great hook off that. The Jhin ultimate actually forces him to cancel as Biopool are going to push it on potential 5. They're going to push down this Karma shield, not quite enough. That's 2 kills for none. And they should be able to push down this mid lane turret as well.
Yeah,
as
absolutely.
Jhin is going to be forced to defend by himself.
Well,
actually, that's Corvus roaming down. So.
But yeah, what made that play possible? Look at the red team vision. When you want to go for that mid lane turret, this is exactly what you want to do. You need to get wards around the mid lane turret so you can see potential avenues of approach. They have everything covered, basically. And you know you can go for that dive. And even though they don't get the turret because of a great response by Corvus to come down into the mid lane, that was exactly the right idea. And they do manage to pick up 2 kills in the process anyways. Very, very good vision control. Now, they're going to clear out a few of those wards.
But they've still got all of the exits from that red side.
No, absolutely. Impeccable vision control from Clambassadors right now.
Yeah, and again, a nice play from Atrol, helping out with the kills. That's now 6 assists onto this Blitzcrank, just 21 minutes in.
Damn. This is a good game.
Yeah, I think this is some of the best team coordination I think we've seen in,
absolutely.
in these tournaments.
Absolutely.
Some really good roams, especially the 5-man Clambassadors roam into the bot lane, turning that fight with right after Lucian went down.
And the 4-man Clambassadors follow up into the mid lane that we saw a little bit earlier. The multiple gangplank calls that have turned fights around as well.
Absolutely. Fun
Such
game.
good team play.
Marl Sartell again putting the adhesive down, gonna try and throw Kayle in. Does not have any support, but Corvus doesn't know that, so actually the Kayle ultimate burned quite early in this fight as the Singed ultimate is running. I think Corvus has now realized that
that's
maybe
pretty even
in this fight. Potential 5 coming in, gonna lock down the Singed. The tether comes down, doesn't even need it to lock him up. Corvus picking up the kill. Expatriate meanwhile in the mid lane, gonna get the kill on Gangplank. A nice ult from Sejuani lands onto 2, but the Zhonya's Hourglass gonna keep Expatriate alive a little longer, can jump to the teammate for safety, and now a culling coming in for big damage. Biopuvar going really hard into the back line. Corvus going down as well. That's now 2, a couple extra kills picked up in this fight. That's 3 now. As Ligophile going to be the last man standing. The Ignite ticking down isn't going to kill him, but they forced them out. That is 4 down on Royal Rat Authority for just 1 in the return.
Yeah. All right, now, what Clambassadors need to do here is get these turrets. You see that Clambassadors is so far ahead in kills. So far, they've been unable to convert that into, like, actually a substantial gold lead, and what they need to do now with their free time is get this turret, farm some of the jungle on the way out, set up for some more towers.
They could
and Dragon
possibly
even.
push in for a second turret. Those look like they are going to be going for Dragon instead.
Yeah.
As the death timer is just coming off.
That's fine. That's a totally good way to further cement their lead in this game. And if we look at the Clambassadors' vision, again, it's so good in the bottom side jungle. They know exactly what's happening. That blue trinket is not going to do anything. Royal Rat Authority just can't come in on that.
We did see that the Dark Seal picked up by Katarina earlier.
Is now a Medjai's.
As we pointed out, Medjai's Soul Stealer, 18 stacks.
That is one scary Katarina.
That is several. Also going to pick up a needlessly large rod. It's going to be a Luden's Echo coming in soon afterwards.
It's like some number of stacks, you know.
It's decent.
Yeah.
It's a few AP.
Several AP.
Such
man.
AP. Wow.
Wow. Very, very Katarina. Such insta-kill. So Ludens. Ludens being really good on Katarina, by the way. Your base damages are pretty low, your scalings are pretty crappy, and Ludens is going to help complement both of those things by adding both base damage and scaling to your kit. It's pretty much the perfect Katarina item at this point in the game. I'm a little bit surprised to see him not go for an Abyssal Scepter, but I can't disagree with the Ludens purchase here. It's going to be so good.
Yeah. Absolutely. So we do see Royal Rat Authority setting up their vision in the bot lane. So actually, most of Clambassador's wards now down there have timed out, and Royal Rat Authorities are still up. But with Dragon just having gone down, that's sort of the less important area of vision. So I do like seeing Clambassadors rotating their vision toward the top side instead. Gonna be fighting over the top turret and possibly the Baron. Royal Rat Authority sieging down. Another great hook lands in onto Corvus. The Kale ultimate instant reaction is going to keep him alive, but thrown back into the turret once again. Just barely loses the turret aggro as the Gragas ultimate is going to pick up the kill finally on the end of that. So 1 kill going down. That's Biopuvar again. And good turret defense there.
More powder.
Yeah, with the Blitzcrank and Sins between them just have so much displacement power. Gragas as well. They can make you be somewhere very different from where you want to.
Now, that fight was not actually a full team fight. Vin was off in the top lane pushing a turret, and that is going to further add to Clambassador's gold lead. He's actually going to stay topside, because for the time being, it is still going to just be a 4v4 in that mid lane.
Yeah, and the call that he picked up earlier did finish itself off.
Very nice.
A while ago.
Very nice.
So, gonna pick up some extra gold with that.
Absolutely. Yeah, very good team play from both teams, but Clambassador is just doing a little bit more with those heads-up plays. This is actually, I think, one of the most coordinated games I've ever seen them play. A lot of the time what happens is they all have the right idea, but their executions just slightly missteps. They don't all go in at the right time. They're not necessarily all on the same page with those roams. This game has pretty much been picture perfect. They've been doing so well.
Yeah, absolutely. And Biopuvar killing off the word and jumping out. Fat Man Shuffle.
Fat Man Shuffle.
Yep. And after what, it's kind of interesting to see that Royal Rat Authority essentially knew the Singe was coming and was able to pick, completely counterpick it. And we have not seen Corvus have much success with that. I think a lot of that is with Biopuvar, providing the great pressure early game with Expatriate as well, roaming up to the top.
Yeah.
And Kale, had a CS lead in the early game, still has a CS lead, but is just way behind in gold because of the impact that Marl's Chartel has been able to have.
Yeah.
With the assistance from the jungle in the mid lane.
Corvus is not necessarily behind in gold, but Corvus is much more behind in this matchup than we would expect a Kale to be at this point in the game. The other thing is, when split up fights break out, Corvus keeps having to burn the intervention to save either himself or someone else in those split up fights. And then for the big team fights, when you really need it to stop the Katarina from resetting, that's not up for Royal Rat Authority. And that's one thing that's really hamstringing them in these fights and just letting Expatriate roll over the team with the Katarina damage. Because again, they don't have a lot of ways to stop Death Lotus, right? You want to save the Sejuani abilities for something that's not just that. So by burning those tools to counteract Katarina in situations that don't involve Katarina, Clambassadors is very subtly getting an edge in these team fights as well.
Yeah, as I really like I think that was a blind hook there from H-Roll, hitting like a file and breaking the Banshees. Yeah, this is a very early Banshees Veil. I think that is just a reaction to the Blitzcrank.
Yeah.
Because there's not a whole lot else that you'd expect to be able to use the Banshee's Veil for.
Yeah. I mean, I can't disagree with that. There's a lot of magic damage too, so.
Also of note, I do want to point out that Biopuvar has picked up the Face of the Mountain Sightstone upgrade, which I'm the Eye of something which is not the Watchers of the Oasis.
Crap, I don't remember what this is.
We can
look at it. Equinox, there we go.
Eye of the Equinox. So we actually see 2 of those on the side of Clambassadors. One in the support, one from the support, and one from the jungle. Yeah, that is very interesting. Gonna help out a little bit with the wave clear, I guess, and the having a Sightstone and a jungler is nice. So that's obviously contributing to the ward control they've been able to have in the
that's so good, actually. This is something that we don't see very... No, I mean, as 2 support mains here,
Mars Chartel going in very deep, getting a nice little bit of slow with the Mega Adhesive there. Jhin Ultimate going to try and get some damage over this fight as Biopuvar is going to be overextended, is going to go down, but Corvus now finds himself once again in the back line against 3. Mars Chartel, with that ultimate running on Singe, is going to be able to survive a lot as they get the health regen going. Corvus was in a bad position, but did manage to get out. Is going to be a one for none.
Don't chase Singe. Don't chase Singe.
In the end, is it's just Biopuvar going down. And with Dragon coming up in about 30 seconds, we do see once again Clambassadors has set up their vision in the bottom side. So gonna try and control this, and their jungler is gonna be coming up just about at the same time as the dragon.
Oh, the Grablands!
Puts up another great hook, but Katarina can't quite get the damage down. The Ignite ticking on Jhin is not gonna be able to take him down. The Summoner heal burned with the Ignite ticking, so no kill for the Katarina, and that's actually huge that they were able to focus down Expatriate there.
10 stacks gone! That is 10 Magi stacks gone. That is so much power lost, and now Royal Rat Authority can actually siege up this middle lane turret a little bit.
Yeah, as a lot of that wave clear is lost. Lycophile gets tossed into the back line, does not have the turret aggro just yet, though. Now he does, but with the Kale ultimate running, is going to be able to survive that just fine. The Gragas ultimate not going to be able to save the tower, so
disengage.
coming in. Yeah, H-Roll does not actually want to be out that far.
Get out. Get
does
the turret.
Not have
get
the
out.
supportive damage. Both of the main damage dealers are down right now. That's a really long death timer for Expatriate. Still has another 5 seconds before he comes up.
Oh man. So there were just so many small things that could have turned that situation entirely. Like, if Expatriate had finished that Ludens earlier, he had enough gold. He absolutely had enough gold. We see him dying and finishing that now. He absolutely would have had enough damage to just take down Jin right away and start that reset going. He also did not quite have enough time to use his on his Hourglass, again, because he had to channel Death Lotus for a split second too long to try to take out the Jin. So that fight could have gone so much more cleanly for Clambassadors had they managed to hit a good back timing. Nonetheless, because Royal Rat Authority chooses to go for the turret, because their health bars were all set blinking low by that turret dive, Clambassadors manages to pick up their 3rd dragon of the game.
Yeah, absolutely. I also really love just seeing the animation for Kale Ultimate on gigantic targets.
Yeah, it's pretty hilarious.
It's pretty great. Yeah, it's Sejuani getting tossed into the back line with Kale Ultimate.
Yeah. Oh, that was fun.
It just looks great. Yeah, I'm curious about how the turret aggro worked, because it looked like Ligaphile maybe should have had the turret aggro for more of that. And I think that was probably Corvus's best Kale ultimate we've seen this game. Right as soon as turret aggro went onto the Sejuani,
I mean,
tossing the ultimate down so they can keep that consistent lockdown.
Yeah, I mean, it was the only real time he had it up for a team fight so far this game, right? And like, I mean, that's good. Like, that's a totally good use of the Kale ultimate. They need to do that over and over and over again if they want to claw their way back into this game. They're not super far behind now. The dragons are adding up, but they're pretty even in turrets. The gold deficit is not too monstrous at this stage in the game. Clambassadors, though, because of those 2 Sightstone items, does have a pretty big edge in vision control, so we'll have to see how that affects decision-making later on. And again, like, I mean, even now we see the far superior vision, though I don't think they have quite enough advanced vision into the jungle to be able to pressure this turret efficiently. You at least want a ward here. You probably want a ward here as well if you want to really siege that 2nd tier turret. And I mean, they can get those wards. Like, they could totally get those wards if they wanted to.
Yeah, I think that with that, I believe they did have some wards a little bit further in that jungle, but they've all expired
and been pinked out as well.
And been pinked out as well.
So, I mean, they have, the thing about Clambassadors is even though they're not ahead in gold, they have the momentum and map control advantage. And I really agree with Ben, like, this 2nd Eye of the Equinox onto Biopuvar is doing so much work for them. This is more wards than we, like, I think we've seen this year in League of Legends.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
I do also want to
awesome.
give a shout out to the Banner of Command on Potential 5.
Yes.
I love the support side lane push.
Yes. Excellent. Excellent. Banner of Command's a great item. It's going to help counteract that Zizirot portal pickup in the top lane by Mal Shortel.
Yeah, absolutely. So we can maybe, if there's lull in the action, take a look at Steve the Cannon minion, who's going to be pushing that top lane. They're all named Steve, by the way.
They're all named Steve.
That is Steve. Hello, Steve.
Your forecast for the next 20 minutes is just
Steve.
Yep. Just Steve. Steve. What are the Zizirot minions named?
I don't know if they live long enough to get named individually.
Oh, well, that's not very nice.
I mean, well, Steve's gonna be there for a while.
Fine. I'll take that. I can accept that, I guess.
Steve is probably dying as I say that.
Steve is at like 2/3 HP.
Oh, okay, yeah, Steve's doing fine.
I mean, Steve's face tanked like 3 whips at this point, so he's doing pretty darn well.
For that. Yeah, but I do like that play by Potential 5, the item pickup.
Oh, absolutely.
That's going to force the map pressure. We can see now Vim going to have to go top lane to deal with this, and that's going to hinder their push in the mid lane quite a bit.
And here's the thing. Now, Clambassadors now has the vision they want to siege his mid-turret, but they can't now because Steve is in top lane.
Rip Steve.
Rip Steve. I'm sorry, Steve.
He'll be remembered.
See, he didn't live that much longer than the Zero minions. As with the Karma engage coming in.
Can't have an ADC. Expatriate gets exhausted. They're not going to be able to lock him down. There's the lockdown. Ligaphile hits the ultimate. The Zoni's Hourglass keeping him alive slightly longer, but Expatriate not going to be able to get any damage left. And with their top laner and their ADC gone, Biopuvar going down, this is going to be a huge push here for Royal Rat Authority as they have this mid lane completely open.
What push?
Marl Chartel. There's the singe. Making me look So never mind on the push, but they do have 2 important members of the other team down. This is the jungler and the mid laner down.
I like
Might
this
be
call.
going
I
for
like
an
this
aggressive
call.
Baron. There it is. It started off.
They're going to try to trade that for bot side.
Yeah, Vim's sitting behind, but Marl's Chartel is not going to have that much real pushing power on the turret, and Corv is going to be able to push him out. So I think that's going to have to be a Baron unless H-Roll can make something really impressive happen. TP coming in. They're going to back off this Baron. A lot of Jhin traps in there. Going to start popping. Going to be slowing down Marl's Chartel.
He has his ult running. He's so tanky.
He's so tanky. They're chasing the Singe. Don't chase the Singe. Oh, they have to pull off. That's a really nice TP there from Marl's Chartel.
The grab comes in. Ult intervention.
Ultimate going down. Another displacement going down. Gangplank is going to die here. Corv is keeping him alive for just a bit longer. That's a double kill for Vim. Nice positioning there. Maybe going to be able to get Legofile as well. Expatriate picking that one up. So that's suddenly 3 return kills after pushing them off the Baron. Great return from Clan Ambassadors.
So the fact that they were able to pressure turrets, stop Baron, and pick up return kills in what was a 3v5 situation is absolutely incredible. After what looked like a kind of losing team fight, Clan Ambassadors managed to actually turn that around entirely, and maybe now they can go for the Baron themselves.
Yep, and gonna be pretty far away. I think they are gonna be able to get people on there before the Baron actually goes down, but Gangplank and Kale are both down here. Already at half health, they might be able just to finish it off. The rest of the team from Royal Rat Authority is coming in. The Jhin ultimate going down. Gonna be face tanked by H-Roll and Marl's Chartel in the front. Some nice blocks there. As the Gangplank ultimate used at the very end to...
Marl's Chartel going so low.
He's locked down. Where's the mastery spam? Not there this time.
He's so tanky. He's so tanky. I sound like a broken record, but he's so tanky.
Yeah, so a nice Baron on to all 5 members here from Clan Ambassadors. So some good team play. I think right before that last team fight, you did point out that Marl's Chartel was cutting off that mid wave, and I think that was huge in getting the positioning there.
Oh, so
because that forced the play away from the push in the mid lane, which with that minion wave they could have had easily with that. I think it was 5-on-3 at that point, with Vim split into the top lane as well. So really a 5-on-2.
Yeah. But then Corvus backed and went bottom lane, and then the 4 people peeled off onto Baron, which sounds like a really good play, except Marl's Chartel is actually strong enough to single-handedly force them out with that TP, combined with his backline threat. Very, very good play from Clan Ambassadors to make the best out of that situation.
And let this be a lesson that you probably shouldn't let Marl's Chartel play Singed again.
I mean, like, the thing is, this guy doesn't make any flashy plays on Singed, right? It's not like, it's not like Singed can make that many flashy plays to begin with, but he just performs. He gets tanky, he does a ton of damage, he's impossible to kill and causes a ton of disruption as this dragon fight breaks out, actually.
And Jhin actually getting the kill down. Biopuvar not landing the smite, didn't have it up at the time. Marl's Chartel does get locked down, but is going to survive yet again with that ultimate running. Nice shot from Jhin to finish off that kill. So they are going to lose 1. That is Dragon number 1 as well, coming from Royal Rat Authority, to the 3 so far from Clan Ambassadors, and a nice Mega Adhesive is going to stop that chase from going any further.
Yeah, very, very, very good Grog Assault. I think that hit 4 or 5 people to disengage that fight with minimal losses. Nice job by Jhin as well to secure that first Dragon for Royal Rat Authority. It's going to be very, very important there.
And we do see
Steve!
Steve reaching down the turret. Corvus gets tossed in. I think picked up a turret shot or 2. Expatriate gets flopped out of the ultimate as he gets just a little bit of damage with the hook landing. He's going to get Ligafile. That's now 2 kills for none so far. 3 kills here as Vim picks up another. And Clan Ambassador is going to be forcing them back. Royal Rat Authority running away. Oh, the Mega Adhesive knocking down Jhin. Triple kill for Vim. Can't get away from that. And Corvus is just going to have to run. Is a pretty big wave pushing against Clan Ambassadors in the top lane.
I mean, you can send 1 person to deal with that. They still have Baron buff, so they're going to be able to hold that wave before the top turret. With the Zezerot portal, with the last of this Baron buff, and with 4 people in bottom lane, I think they actually can go ahead and get this inhibitor turret, if not the inhibitor.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, Zezerot running is going to hold that turret dagger off of them, so that's going to be the inhibitor going down.
Very nice.
Corvus
very
cannot
nice.
hold them off. I think their push might have to stop here with potential 5 coming up in just a few seconds.
It's risky to go further. They don't actually have the wave. The thing is, they tank the last that turret with the Zezerot minions, but without an actual wave, you can't push into the Nexus turret like that.
So it's going to be just clearing out the enemy side jungle instead.
What an exciting game so far, Ben.
Yeah.
Oh, so much has happened.
This has been a fun one.
Yeah, for sure.
Marl's Chartel being annoying in the mid lane.
Yep.
Again.
He doesn't make any flashy plays, but he's just very consistent. He's consistently good at doing what he does on Singed, and that's why.
Where's Steve? Where's Steve?
Steve?
I think that's
Steve been used.
Steve is on cooldown. Potential 5 is still in. Okay, there he goes.
That's not Steve either. Where did Steve go?
Might be a visual bug. I'm seeing
Yeah, the cooldown's not refunding.
seeing the cooldown. Interesting.
Probably a visual bug then. Oh well. Sorry for the Steve hype, guys. Sorry to disappoint.
Stealing the Steve hype from EU. I just really like Banner of Command.
I just really like the double Sightstone items. I'm so glad you pointed that out.
Yeah,
It's been so pivotal.
Missing the hook would have just popped the Banshees anyway, but always fun.
There's Steve. I heard Steve.
Steve!
Good Baron push though. Good Baron push.
Yeah, making pretty good use of that, getting that bottom lane inhibitor. Top lane is going to be pushing against them, so they are going to have to send somebody to deal with that. It's probably going to have to be Vim.
Yeah.
He's been, their main guy going away to clear the top wave when needed. But it is shifting up toward the top lane. Have to see if they want to counter push against this pretty soon. But meanwhile, on the bottom lane, Gangplank is picking up the free farm.
Yep. Gangplank is going to start getting pretty scary. He has completed a bunch of items.
Static Shiv picked up next, which is pretty good for getting in those crit barrels.
Yeah, and with the last Whisper item finished, that's going to start chunking down even Marl Shortell. So, yeah, we're going to really have to look at the Gangplank and the Kale ultimate to turn fights for Royal Rat Authority. But, oh my gosh, they grabbed
another
Potential 5!
onto Potential 5, flashes out of it, is going to survive. The Jhin ultimate coming in, but everyone's at full health, so it's not going to be doing huge amounts of damage. Culling coming in, also gets cancelled. Vim running into the Gangplank ultimate too early, though. Oh my god! Down! A 4-man ultimate from Ligophile locks down all of Clanbassadors. Expatriate going down as soon as he gets out of the Zonias. That is a clean 4 kills. They have to stop chasing the Singe now, but that is an amazingly clean team fight from Royal Rat Authority, completely turning around that huge gold advantage. They're still down 5k gold, but in that fight, that did not matter.
Yeah.
That was a beautiful, beautiful Sejuani ultimate to turn that.
I think that's the first time we've seen Ligophile land the ult on more than 1 or 2 people, because up to this point, they've been using that Sejuani ult just to get some picks off. But now that the ult lands on 4 people, like, that's a completely different teamfight dynamic. We saw Expatriate managing to get the Hourglass down, but he was already sitting on, like, 10 health when he got that off. Like, that was a very, very good team fight. Very, very good team fight from Royal Rat Authority.
Now we see them pushing in 3 lanes at once on the backside of that.
But we see them using the kill ult effectively. We see them using the Sejuani ult effectively. We see the Gangplank damage coming through, which we said were some of the big things that were going to turn them in these fights.
Yeah, absolutely. And at the start of that fight, it looked like Vim was kind of caught between a couple of the ultimates. Wanted to get away from the Sejuani, wanted to get out of the Jhin ult, wanted to get out of the Gangplank ult, ended up walking back into the Gangplank ult, and I think that slow is ultimately what caused him to go down there.
Pretty tricky situation for him there, though.
Really hard to position in that fight, but played beautifully by Royal Rat Authority. That is absolutely their best team fight we've seen from them this game.
Yeah, and like I think it goes to show that like they're definitely not out of this game, despite the great vision control, despite the leads, despite how utterly unkillable Marl Shortell has become. Royal Rat Authority does have the team composition and the team fighting skills to be able to come out on top in this game.
Yeah, and we are 43 minutes into this game almost, and it is still super, super even.
Yep.
That 2k gold deficit starts to matter less when you got 75,000 gold on team. Both Dragon and Baron had just come live in the last few seconds.
And this is actually really impressive for Royal Rat Authority. There we go. Because just a few minutes ago, that was an 8k gold deficit, which matters a lot more than a 2k gold deficit at this point in the game. We see both teams going for the Dragon. Vim going to dash out of any potential Sejuani CC.
Yep, and looks like Royal Rat Authority do have position on the Dragon. Meanwhile, Clanbassador is going to go for the Baron.
That's going to force them off the Dragon.
Yeah, absolutely, and they have inside position on the Baron.
Oh, there's a super in that wave! Oh my gosh, that's going to push in. That's going to push in so hard.
Yep, so Royal Rat Authority are going to answer. I don't think their Clanbassadors are going to be able to get this Baron. Looks like they're trying to bait it. Both Banshee's Veils popped with that one. Noble and the Jhin gets pulled in. The Kale ult has to be used at the very start of the fight. We'll have to see if that matters later. Biopuvar, though, is in the middle of the Gangplank ult. Is going to go down to the combination of that and the Kale. Lock up on Expatriate, going to get him out of the ultimate. Even trading so far, that's a 2 for 2. And as we say that, another kill. Really clean team fighting once again from Royal Rat Authority. That's now 3 down. Biopuvar on Atrial is going to be backing away from further out, and Marl's Chartel gonna live with the ultimate. That super minion
super
wave,
minion,
as
man.
this goes
The
on,
super
though,
minion.
gonna kill the inhibitor. So a pretty split team fight ends up working out in the favor of Clambassadors, though, with that bot wave pushing for them. That feels almost undeserved, but they had good wave control.
No, it was a
good wave control coming into the fight.
Yeah, it was a great call by Clambassadors to go for the Baron. They knew they either trade the Dragon for the Baron. That takes down a Nexus turret!
Oh,
what the hell? I mean, that was a great
no.
call. Like, they know their bot wave is shoving. They know that Royal Rat Authority is at Dragon, so they go for Baron. They lose the team, but it doesn't even matter. They have a huge wave shoving in the top side. They manage to get that inhibitor turret, and the Nexus turret, and the inhibitor. Now, they're going to give up this Dragon to Royal Rat Authority, but, oh, man.
Yeah, so what looked like actually a pretty clean team fight from Royal Rat Authority ends up working out very poorly for them because of that push in the bot lane.
Yeah.
It looked like the Katarina ult went on to just 1 or 2 targets, but the Sejuani ult forcing Katarina out of that a little early.
Oh, he sold his Magi's. Very good. I was going to say, the next thing he has to do is sell his Magi's, because at this point in the game, it's not worth it if you're dying so much. Sold his Magi's, bought a death cap. Cool. Perfect. I like it.
That's reasonable.
Excellent.
Trade. That'll do.
That'll do. Really, really good kill ult, though, at the beginning of the fight to dissuade pretty much all of the instantaneous bursts from Clambassadors. Ooh, we see a GA coming in onto Vim, actually. I like that.
I think he does need that if he's getting caught out at the start of these fights.
That is some very defensive itemization from this Lucian, actually, and I think they could have benefited a little bit more from seeing Atrial pick up that Zeke's just because of how defensive Vim's build is. That additional Zeke's multiplier would have done a lot of work for them.
Still got one
in these fights, I think. Yeah, he still does, but I think I would have liked to see that over the Iceborne Gauntlet, because I don't think he needs that.
The one I do like the Righteous Glory choice, because that's going to help.
Yes,
That's
good.
They're not particularly strong on engage. They do have some pick potential with the the Gragas ult can help land a pick.
Yeah.
Atrial's hooks have been quite good in this game.
Yeah, that's totally fine. I like that.
And Lycophile jumping out of any danger.
Yeah, but like especially with Marl Shratel having a Rylai's, I really don't think the Iceborne Gauntlet is necessary there. I would much rather have seen a Zeke's.
Yeah, I think I do agree with you that the Glacial Shroud item, Zeke's works a little better. But I do like the Righteous Glory. Letting Sind just do the gotta go fast.
Yep.
Baron has been started here.
They have to pull out this Baron.
The Jhin ultimate getting tanked up by the front line quite well. Biopuvar and Marl's Chartel taking up those first 2 shots, and the second 2 miss. And they're going to try and draw Lycophile away from this team. Yeah, Clambassadors is backing away. They don't want this fight. The gold deficit is actually being completely overturned. Royal Rat Authority now slightly up in gold, although we're at the stage of the game where small gold deficits matter very little.
But Corvus doesn't have TP, and look at that bot lane.
Yeah, bot lane is pushing in once again.
Clambassadors can literally stall, shove out top wave a little bit more, and try for Baron again, because they're going to have to send people to recall. Corvus has no TP, and it's going to be a pretty clean Baron fight. They're not even going to shove at this top lane. I think that's a minor misstep from Clambassadors. Give the bot lane a little more time to push out, but they're going to go for this. We'll see if they
Baron
get it.
is going down, but not particularly quickly. They're actually going to pull off this again. As the entire team from Royal Rat Authority is swinging
But that's
up.
the thing, the entire team is there. Look at that bot lane, it's gonna push in. If they have to go back and defend that somehow.
Yeah, and we do see 2 going back. It looks like...
Oh no, the top wave, he's not gonna catch up to the top wave in time.
Steve!
Oh, if only Marl Shratel had gone a few seconds earlier, that would have been a much more efficient clear of the top wave. We actually see all of Clambassadors starting to channel their recalls, not quite finishing them. Alright.
Yeah,
no, they're going to go back.
So it looks like they have been dissuaded from the Baron for now. Marl Shratel, you're going to have to auto-attack Steve.
I don't know why they're all going back, actually. They don't really need health, mana, or items.
Yeah, I think they might have had a little bit of gold to spend. Marl Shratel sitting on an extra 2,000. Probably is going to go finish off that Leandries right now.
Ooh, not bad, not bad.
I do like that deck up for him. But a lot of people starting to hit full build now.
Yeah, and we do see some comments in Twitch chat about Iceborne Gauntlet and crit chance. It's not the fact that it's too easy to pick up crit chance, it's the fact that Lucian doesn't have that much crit chance to begin with because of the defensive itemization he was forced into, which makes me think that Zeke's might have been the better choice here. I do agree with Frozen Heart, though, against Kayle and Jhin, that's going to be exceptionally effective as well. But I think that out of those 3 purchases, Iceborne is the least effective possible one in this scenario.
And I think it has been confirmed that the interaction with Frozen Heart and Jin's passive does reduce his AD from Yeah, the bonus AD is getting off his passive. Baron started off once again by Clan Bastards. This is the third time is in the last couple minutes they've started off this Baron. Jhin ultimate channeled again. Atrial blocking that out nicely. They have
a lot more Baron damage now this time, though.
And going down fast. They're going to smite it away, but they might lose this team fight now after they get the Baron. A good silence coming in from Atrial, going to lock down that front line.
Vim's Jace
starting to go down. Atrial goes down in this fight. Biopuvar trying to jump in is going to get killed off. Only one going down on the side of Royal Rat Authority. That's going to be a costly Baron as they lose 3 members of the team, so it's going to be just on Vim and Marl's Chartel.
Not bad members to have it on, but can they defend this push?
Pretty good members, but yeah, that is starting off a Baron fight for the 3rd time. They're going to have to defend it with just those 2 against 4 members from Royal Rat Authority. Nice job killing off those Gangplank barrels.
Yeah. I mean, so the Baron melee minions are going to be pretty hard to kill, but Kale's actually shredding that down pretty fast.
I think the Baron.
There we go.
Rip Steve.
Rip Steve. I think that was the shortest lived Steve we've seen yet.
Yeah, got culled.
Got culled.
And
Steve doesn't like getting culled.
Marl's Chartel doing a pretty good job of defending this turret along with the wave clear from Vim.
Yeah, again, the ZZ Rot minions combined with the potential of the culling and the Baron minions are just going to make that wave defense not quite as bad as it could be.
Yeah, looks like the bottom wave is going to be, I think, shoving in for...
Well, they don't have super anymore. And a ZZ Rot there.
Yeah.
Nice.
So bottom wave's going to start pushing back toward Clan Ambassadors. Might be able to make that work for them.
Yeah. That inhib being down was such an important map advantage for Clan Ambassadors. They're going to have a much harder time doing anything now.
Yeah.
With that inhib up.
Absolutely. So next dragon is going to be coming up in about 20 seconds. So some fighting over that Scuttle Crab actually was picked up by Royal Rat Authorities. That's a pretty big scuttle to have at this stage of the game. Would be 4th dragon for Clan Ambassadors and
Can they
just
actually
3rd
secure
dragon
this?
for Royal Rat Authority. I don't think they really want to fight this. Expatriate was right now separated from the team, trying to force back that ZZ Rot wave in the bot lane. Now is going to join up with the rest of them. Royal Rat Authority going to try and burn down the dragon quickly, and they are able to pull it off. So that's now 3 dragons each. Pushing off that advantage. Atrial was caught in the front. The Jhin ultimate coming down, putting down some good damage, as well as Gangplank. Biopuvar going down in the middle of that Gangplank ulti. To the damage from Jhin. Good lockup. Gets Vim and Marl's Chartel. That's 2 important members locked down. Double kill. Expatriate. A fantastic ult. Finally from, as you see from Katarina, as he's able to avoid the lockdown. But it's not enough. They turn that fight. 2 members still surviving from Royal Rat Authority. Atrial going to be well away from this fight and backing now. That was a really good look from Expatriate getting in for those kills, as you saw the Sejuani ultimate had already been burned, so they couldn't be interrupted by it.
Yep.
I believe picked up a double kill before going down in there, but so much turnaround potential.
Oh, man. I think Expatriate missed that for a little bit there after he got out of his ultimate. I don't know if he was still snared, but there was a split second where he just stood still, and I think that actually cost him his life in that situation. Kind of unfortunate coming out there. It must have been the snare. I
think got snared.
Yeah.
Out of the ultimate.
Got snared in Zanya's, and then came out of Zanya's, and was still snared. A little bit unfortunate there. But the 5 dragon stacking has pretty much been effectively nullified here.
Yeah. Atrial sneakily killed off that ZZ Rot portal while he was in bot lane. Not recalling.
Whew. Not recalling.
I think he did recall, but killed off the ZZ Rot portal first. That's going to be very good for Clan Ambassadors. I think had that still been pushing in, that could have turned the map control to Royal Rat Authority.
Steve! There we go. There's Steve.
And yeah, good Steve push in the top lane.
Yep.
Is going to be, there's a ZZ Rot portal in the top as well, but I think those ZZ Rot minions are dying before they reach. Yeah,
I think it's
just
actually
barely not reaching.
I think it's actually inefficient to put both of these in the same lane, because both of those things are going to push the lane, but the ZZ Rot portal has a limited reach. It's going to be much more effective to split those up into separate lanes. As we see the very, very late game pause coming in, we got a DC. So we'll keep you guys updated on the status of this game.
All right. Never mind.
Okay.
He's good. Everything's fine.
Everything's
an
fine.
Uncharacteristically quick pause.
Yeah.
for the
MIT Law Club. Yep.
Yeah. So let's take a step back, look at the state of this game. Exceedingly close game, still 53 minutes into the game. As we are just about to come out of this pause in a few seconds. Clan Ambassadors still showing really good vision control, as we've seen them all game with that double sight stone. I still like that they've got a lot of their wards in the bot lane that were set up for that dragon fight.
There we go.
and I think Baron's going to be coming up in just a couple minutes from now. You know, I have to think that Clambassadors are going to want to fight over that Baron. They do need to turn around this kind of duo lane passive push that Royal Rat Authority are able to set up between the Banner of Command minions and the ZZ Rot portal. So I think they really don't want to be fighting over this Baron again unless they can get that kind of map advantage. As we saw last time, you know, able to finish off Baron, but were immediately turned on by Royal Rat Authority, and they turned around for 3 kills. And this late in the game, 3 kills could be a complete decider if those waves are pushed in.
Yeah. Oh man. Yeah, the ZZ Rot portal, not going to be the most efficient placement there. I think that when those come up, he is going to want to position those in different lanes this time.
Yeah. Marl's Sartell does get caught out in the bot lane. I don't know if Potential 5 is going to be able to do much else to him. Yeah, he's just going to run away laughing.
Are these MIT? Okay, so first of all, the mid lane CS is completely even, which I think is hilarious. Is this a new MIT Law CS record?
Gonna have to confirm that.
All right.
At a later time.
All right, that's getting up there though. That's getting up there. The 471 CS, not quite breaking 10 per minute, not quite breaking Froggen levels of farm, but that is definitely getting up there to the unnecessary stage. Ooh, the TP coming in actually.
TP coming in.
But Turret's not even aggroing that minion, so that's going to be a looted effect.
Marl's is the only one here. The rest of the team is split pushing in the top lane, actually. Royal Rat Authority gonna push this down. They're gonna be able to get the inhibitor as well. The recall's coming in. They're just leaving Expatriate to try and split push this, and they're gonna lose an inhibitor for this. I think they can hold the Nexus turrets, but that's a pretty big loss with that mid lane inhibitor.
That is. And the wave's
Gangplank
gonna
clearing
get
the bottom wave.
Wow.
That's what that global pressure allows you to do. Really nice play from Royal Rat Authority, catching that team totally split.
Yeah, completely off guard there. Marl Chartel died really fast too.
Oh, at 5-man focus.
5-man focus will do that. That's true.
Yeah.
Corvus gets grabbed.
Not enough follow-up, though. The big Karma Shield onto the entire team, and that's going to allow them to push this second inhibitor turret, perhaps, as well. Vim just out of range of the Vim. Jin Ultimate jumps back into it, though. Atrial is going to have to body block as Biopuvar gets the last shot, but with Vim getting pushed back, that's the second inhibitor turret going down. That's going to be another inhibitor as well. So 2 inhibs down here that Clambassador's now going to have to defend. With Marl's Chartel still 15 seconds away from coming back up, and Baron gonna be coming live just about the same time as he does. Marl's Chartel does have the TP, so gonna be able to join that fight immediately. But
yeah.
The control of the map really swinging to Royal Rat Authority in this last minute or two.
Yeah, I mean, we see some of Royal Rat Authority's win conditions coming in here. As we see another fight break out, actually.
Atrial just barely doesn't get caught, but Biopuvar getting chunked low, already down to very low health. Does get killed off by the Jin in the end. Expatriate in the backline, locked up immediately coming out of the Zonias. That's a huge win. Atrial going down. That's now 3 down. On the side of Clambassadors, the exhaust onto Vim, gonna die to that Gangplank as the Guardian Angel pops, but the entire team gonna be around to kill him off after that comes up. Does manage to jump just over the wall. Already see some GGs coming out. That should be the game getting finished off as these bot and mid waves coming in. Jin Ultimate lands onto Vim.
Rip.
That's the kill from Gangplank, and only Marl's Chartel remaining here against all 5 members from Royal Rat Authority. So unless something miraculous,
nope.
And it's gone.
And it's gone.
So Royal Rat Authority gonna be able to push down the Nexus turrets. That is going to be game number 1 going over to them. A really great back and forth game. Almost 57 minutes on the clock on this one.
Yeah, these teams were matched up super well. Like, throughout the early and mid game, it was just a dance of really good coordinated team plays, map movements, and everything. And then Royal Rat Authority seemed to find their itemization and find their win conditions. They got the team fights they wanted with Sejuani, they got the KO ultimates they wanted, and they just fought the team fights better, played to their win conditions, and managed to make a pretty good comeback in that game. Very well played for both teams, and we will be back in a few minutes with game 2 of this set.
Stay tuned.